part one of today's adventure. We're gonna go ahead and find key on power up here in this harness. I believe it's actually gonna be the old fuel heater wire, which is red with a green stripe. So we're gonna go ahead and look for that in here, and then we'll pull the wire out that goes into the dash to the fuse panel, and we're gonna go ahead and bring it back out here and tie it in here. And I might actually put a plug in it so I can disconnect it at times when I need to, so that way the fuel pump won't run. Let's say if I'm trying to prime up my high pressure oil system, if I do a different oil change or something later on, or injectors, I could disconnect it over there from power. So I just want to kind of have a redundancy here. Yes, another plug will cause, it could cause a problem in the future. If that happens, then I'll just wire them together. I'll leave enough slack, but I'm sure the internet's going to tell me that I'm doing everything wrong as usual, and all that does is just makes it better for the video. So I'm going to do it wrong because, as usual, I'm naive about this stuff. All right, so we're over here on the other side, and this is our key on power for, I think it's diesel site. They have a wiring harness you can buy online instead of having to, where is it? Yeah. So here it is right here. So serial number. If anyone watches this video and wants it, I can give them that information, but yes. Oh, it's driven diesel, but I'm thinking about it on diesel site. I'm fairly certain they're the same company, or maybe, but either way. So yeah, got a harness here, plugs into power here. So we need to go ahead and pull this blue wire. Looks like it's getting caught, but we'll pull that back out. Oh, I see. It's because it's up here in the dash, that's why. Oh, that's right. I ran it up high up here so it wouldn't be in the way. So go ahead and pull that out. So we'll pull that out over here. Oh yeah, I got plenty right here. That's easily another 4 feet, so that's good. So we'll throw that in there, and I'll bring you back in a second after I route it. And you can see that I have the return line right here through the eyelet for if I wanted to pick the engine up. There's AN threaded fittings on the ends here to the fuel regulator. So if that were to happen, I can simply just undo them. At the same time, I'm gonna get some, oh, what is it? It's this protector right here. I can't think of it right this second, but I'm gonna go ahead and get some and just put it on here anyway. I got everything routed away from the exhaust manifold. The only thing that isn't is this. Oh no, there's actually room here. We're good. Okay. This vacuum line will get fixed up later, but we have everything tight over here that we need, and I'll fix that up. And then this is our main fuel feed right here to the top. And as you can see, that's over here on a bracket for the old little plastic cover. So we'll go ahead and get some on there as well, just to protect it. And then we'll do that wire. Okay, so this is the original harness that goes down here to the IPR. And we have this harness that feeds off of it that you can just unplug from your fuel bowl system. So we have, this is our old fuel heater right here. This is, I believe, water and fuel. And then this one down here that I used on top of the CNC fabrication non-regulated return system for fuel. This one I believe is, what is it? It's like something fuel pressure. And so I figured I'd just leave that plugged in for now because it's an 1/8 inch MPT fitting, so it fits in there. Later on, I'll probably change it out to run fuel pressure up on my dash for a gauge, even though I have a analog gauge right here, because it should always be a static pressure. It shouldn't change. But when running a diesel truck, especially one that you've modified yourself or for any reason, I think You should always monitor your fuel pressure, transmission temperature, exhaust gas temperature, you know, manifold boost pressure, which comes into here. I'm a big fan of knowing engine oil temperature as well. But when the time comes, I'll probably just do all this to like a Banks iDash. So that way I have one gauge and not 47 up on my dash or up on the A-pillar by the window. To me, those always look kind of goofy and I don't really like them. So we'll go ahead and jump back over this. We'll clean it up, make sure this is the correct wire. Like I said, it should be red, which you can see right there vaguely with a green stripe. So we'll wipe it down. I think I have some acetone, and we'll go ahead and wipe it down just to make sure we're good. And then we'll save this end. This one will leave. I doubt it will ground anything, but you know what? I might just wrap it for now. Secure it up tight. Later on, I will remove it from this altogether, but for right now, I don't want to mess with it. I just want the truck to run, and I want to be able to get power to my fuel system so it can run. All right, we got the heat gun out. I didn't have a good enough connector I wanted to use, and in reality, if I really needed to, I could just disconnect all these and pull it over if anything ever really happened. So I'm gonna go ahead and keep this plastic cover. I still haven't looked up what it is. I don't care that much, but I was looking at it and it's almost like a red-green split, like it's green with a red stripe. But I mean, there's one way we can actually test it. We can go ahead and plug it in. I mean, the truck has power, lights turn on. So before I go any farther, I mean, I can see if the pumps run. Let's do that. Okay, so key in. Oh yeah, we can hear them running. Actually pretty quiet though. That's good. All right, we'll go ahead and turn the key off. We don't want to hurt these bad boys. I don't really have much fluid in there. That's good that they run. It's good to know. Sweet. We'll go ahead and heat shrink up and wrap everything back together. And then the only thing remaining really is trying to get this stupid downpipe to fit. Oh, that's good to know. We have a fuel leak. So actually that's a good test. Now I need to fix that. Let me get a light and see where that's coming from. But all right. Okay, so I found it. It's the main feed right there. The AN fitting isn't tight. So I'm gonna go ahead and grab my AN fitting wrenches and we'll tighten all these up. Come to think of it, I don't think I ever did any of these any more than hand tight anyway. Oh yeah, none of these are tight. Okay, we'll do that first. Then we'll heat shrink that and we'll be good to go. All right, so I have these main 3 sizes that I have. I have 6, 10, but 8. I think I got them on eBay actually, ICT. They work awesome. So I don't know who it is that makes them, but ICT, whoever you are, thank you. So I put it on each of these and every single one was loose. So my feed here is 1/2 inch, which is 8 AN fittings up here. So this is feed from the pumps. Comes in to the regulator right here. It's a universal one I think I found on one of the diesel sites. And I put one of my plugs in that I had. It had a port for a gauge, which I got from XDP. I think it was on sale. And then I took a reducer and I took the Schrader valve from my original fuel filter head over here that was in the engine bay in the valley. Got a reducer on there, threaded it down, so now I can still get rid of the air out of the highest point in the system, which is right here. So fuel comes in, technically goes around. It probably should have gone through right here, but the bracket, there wasn't enough room, so I just did it to right here, which works enough. And then on the bottom is our return, which is a 6 AN fitting, which is roughly 3/8 line that goes back to the tank. So in a nutshell, that's the system. But when it feeds in here, I'm gonna have it set at about 70 pounds. I think factory is like 55 to 60. I've read a lot that 70 pounds is like perfect. You go too much, then you have weird timing issues. You go too low and you run out of you have starvation for fuel. Oh, I just noticed that. Awesome. So we gotta clean that a little more, but all right, we'll get to that. Anyway, comes in down here into the fuel, I guess, distribution head, we'll call it, for the CNC system. And then it gets distributed to the front and back. So yes, it deadheads in the block. I know people are gonna be like, oh, you need to have a return. Oh, whatever, it's my truck, I'm gonna do it my way. I've read about this a lot. This is technically a returnless returned system. So yes, it'll bleed out air and a little bit of fuel through the injectors themselves, and it'll deadhead right here roughly in the middle, and there'll probably eventually be an air pocket somewhere, and whatever. I'll figure it out when the time comes. If I need to return it, then I will. I'll feed it from the back of the head to the front and go back to this return line. But until then, this looks like a cool system for me. Eventually I want to run some 180cc injectors 30 over, and then intercool it, you know, upgrade the turbo more. But it's a 7.3 Powerstroke, so you can only kind of do so much before you really change the whole thing up, and I don't necessarily want to do that all the way. But anyway, for now, to get it running, we will have fuel coming in to each of these lines to the front and back of the head. I got those oversized banjo bolts. I think they're also from Diesel Site. But what it does is it just allows the fuel to move faster through the head. And shoot, if I can find it, I'll show you what these look like. Damn, they must be over here. Probably in my fuel fitting little cubby. So, where are they? Let's throw a bearing for a clutch. Old parts, fittings. All right, let me look real quick and I'll show you why I decided to swap them out after I checked one of them. Okay, never mind. I literally cannot find them, so I don't know what I did with them. Probably threw them away, honestly. Oh, and back to AM fittings. I also have these two little wrenches that I got. AM fittings something, not direct, but another company. But anyway, we're gonna go ahead and heat shrink. We'll put some more fuel. I think I have some, and that way we'll at least pressure test the fuel system. So we know that we have oil now. I gotta check the oil level. And then I think I need to add 7 more quarts of ATF to the transmission, because I pretty much drained that out. We're not doing a flush, we're just doing a drain and fill, because I had to do the filter and do the pan gasket in a separate video previously. Eventually I might number these videos because I forget. But anyway, we'll do that. We'll finish this wire over here, and then we'll double check all these lines, and then we will go ahead and run the fuel pump again. I just got to find some diesel. I think I have some. And the cool thing about this driven diesel fuel pump harness that you can buy is it has a, I think it's either 20 or 30 second, where if there's no oil pressure, it will cycle for 30 seconds. And then if you go to start the truck or you don't start and there's no oil pressure, it shuts off. So that's the reason that it sold me when I was looking at one, because I was gonna build one up like I did for the rest of the fuel system. But my wiring skills are still fairly, well, novice overall. I like to think I'm a pro. I'm not. But this system was pretty plug and play, and it worked for what I wanted to do. And to me, it's really clean. So I like it. Just time will tell when we're running the truck and seeing what we get. Like I said, we'll be checking our fuel pressure. Dang, come on, focus. This thing is stupid. Yeah, we'll be checking our fuel pressure, you know, at idle, and then that's why I want to get an electronic sensor for fuel pressure. Make sure when we hit wide open throttle that we're actually still maintaining the whatever I decide to do, 65 to 75 PSI. And yeah, we'll go from there. So let's go ahead and finish up the wiring, get back to what we were doing. Well, Found some 5 gallons of old diesel. Threw a quart ATF in there and a little stabilizer from Stenodyne that I have. And this will help test to make sure that we have adequate seal in the sump on the bottom of the tank. You can probably pressurize up the fuel system. Get ready for fire up. We'll get back to that heat shrink wire in just a second. So I just spilled a little bit of diesel. Can't really see in there very well, but it's literally right here at the top. So I thought the fuel gauge, I had the sensor wired backwards, and I still have like a half a gallon of diesel left. So I guess my tank has been more or less full and it's not leaking. So that's good. It hasn't leaked at all. So it's been holding like 20 or more gallons for months now. Okay. Well, that's a new one. I just thought about it. I still got to get up under there and I got to tighten up the nuts on the fuel pumps. So I got to do those too. This is the old harness right here from the top of the engine. At some point, I thought it was a good idea to convert it to the Super Duty style with some cheap ones. And then I ended up not trusting them. You can see that I never cut all the wires the correct length. But I still have it just in case I need it. Some old connectors. Oil pressure. Exhaust back pressure. Power for glow plugs. Fuel, I think. Something with the H-pop, I forget. ICP maybe? Or no, that's ICP. I don't remember, whatever. But it's still here just in case. And sweet. So I do have fuel in the system because I thought the gauge was wired backwards. So it's good to know that it shows full all the damn time. So let me tighten those nuts up under there and we'll go ahead and go back through and make sure that everything's good to go. So note to future self or anyone watching this, this is my frame rail right here. So you can see it kind of like that. Oh good, it fell off, awesome. Anyway, these are little 8mm nuts. And to get in there, it is, it's not easy, especially for that top one. So I'm gonna redesign this. I saw a video of a guy that did his setup a little different than mine, and I don't like this anyway because I have a piece of horse mat right here to help take down vibration, but that's just gonna fall out. I mean, I've thought about cutting these shorter and it doesn't do enough. So I'm gonna change up my whole design, maintain the 2 pumps and where everything's at, but I'm just gonna change the entire layout that I have under here because this will work for a while, but I know the time I'm gonna need to work on this is I'm gonna be on the side of the road and probably at night getting frustrated. So I need to change this before I have the opportunity to have that experience. Okay, let's go ahead and let's go check under here. Make sure both pumps are running. So that one's running, that one's running. So these are both dual backflow, so that way if one fails, it'll just keep flowing to the other one and won't push back through the filter. There we go. So you can just hear that it cut off after about 25 seconds. I don't see any leaks back here, so that's what we want. No leaks. It pressured up enough. We'll go up and check the front. You can see that I have gas rated tape in there, because if I can't remember right, oh, that's aluminum. Okay, so I might eventually need to put some brass washers in here, but whatever. Electrolysis. 5/8 fuel line, I think it's like 12 AN or whatever, feeds into the water separator, and then it's dual 3/8 out to the pumps, 3/8 out to the fuel filter, and then a 1/2-inch line all the way out to the front. So let's see here. I don't hear anything leaking now, so that's good. What we can do is we can go ahead and find something here. Oh yeah, I heat shrinked it. I thought about messing with the internet and doing 2 splices, but I was like, I don't really care that much. So we'll go ahead and take the Schrader valve cap off. Stick this wire in there and try and... Hey, there we go. Got some fuel already. Actually, we'll stick this end in there. Okay, so we're back down to 0 PSI, but we got a lot of air out of the top of the system, so that's good. So we'll go ahead and cycle it again. And now that we know the system at the back isn't leaking, let's go ahead and pull the key out, just let it reset. I know that the computer doesn't care, whatever, but just to make sure that there's nothing. And those pumps overall are really quiet, and you definitely won't hear them. So we can hear it coming into the system now. Okay, we're at 10 PSI, so that's good. And you can just hear that the relay just clicked off. And then also, if the truck is in an accident or it tips over, that's a sensor that will tell it to kick off as well. So, as of right now, we're doing good. I'll cycle it a couple times until we build up some more pressure. And then this will be it for the day. It's already late and I gotta run inside and help out with the family. But this went a lot longer than I thought, but so far we're doing good. Throw some more ATF in, and then hopefully the next video we'll be able to start this thing. Just so people don't think I'm just some crazy YouTuber. I'm literally doing this in the free time that I have with, so far, a happy wife and babies. So this is literally every couple hours I get on a Saturday or Sunday or during the week after work. So this truly is just a series of working on my old Powerstroke and my Cummins, and then my other F350 I have, or tractors or whatever. So follow along, like, subscribe, comment, tell me what I'm doing wrong, because I'm always doing something wrong, and the people love to point it out because they're so much better. Looks like we're going down a little bit, but that's okay. We'll bleed more air out, and see you later. So real quick, cutting back after the fact, I have all the fuel, so I have lots of fuel. So my gauge is actually working. Now I just need to figure out, as I'm working through this and driving it, once I get it started, is how low it will go till it's at empty, and then I'll pull the dash apart and I'll adjust it. Or I could pull the tank and adjust it that way, but I don't really want to do that. The good thing is that it has a sump on the bottom of the tank, and people are going to tell me, oh, it's going to suck up water and debris. Those stupid draw straw shower heads that you put in your tank draws from the bottom anyway. I don't care. All I'm doing now is getting less air into it. Yeah, I'm sucking more crap in, but you know what? It still gets returned after it goes through the filters in the system. So in reality, I'm putting and keeping cleaner fuel in my tank. All right?